wanted to share 2 significant habits that have really helped me get to the absolute nucleus of the storm with this benzo injury, this medication injury, to being in a much better place 8 years later, and what's really helped me survive the situation, which there's a lot to it, but there are 2 things in particular that I feel are really significant, and I feel kind of follow the 20-80% rule, which is in anything in life there are kind of 20% of things that lead to the 80% results. And these 2 habits, these 2 practices, if you like, I think have been really significant in feeling much better and creating a foundation to then do other habits and other practices that continue to exponentially increase that healing. So number 1 is a gratitude practice, which I'm sure we've all heard many, many times. It probably sounds cheesy, but there's a reason we've heard it so many times, and that's because I think it does really work. And when you're suffering so much and you feel the weight of the world and the weight of the injustice, it can be so hard to look for those elements of gratitude, but I promise you they are there. And it can be as simple as breathing, just being alive on this planet, and having food in the fridge and electricity and a phone and access to the internet and access to all this information that's out there, access to other people going through this, to a community. For me, one of the things I've been consistently grateful for is just not being 150 years old and feeling like there is this blank canvas of time in front of me, which just perpetuates this sense of hope and possibility going forward. So even just starting with 3 things a day that you feel grateful for and writing them down and saying them out loud, or writing them down, saying them out loud as you're writing them down or afterwards, which is what I tend to do, can be really powerful. The second thing is the power of visualization. So this, again, sounds quite cheesy, but is a very simple thing to adopt into your life, but has a really powerful influence on the rest of your life. And especially if you take these 2 things and bookend your day with them, it actually really sets you up for a much better day, I found in my experience, and calibrates your subconscious mind when you're sleeping as well. So visualization really allows you to, again, calibrate your mind to creating the vision that you want to have in the future. And even if you're lying in bed and you're struggling to leave the house, being able to imagine other things, as hard as that might feel at times, especially if you're suffering and you're really, really struggling, to allow yourself to daydream, allow that imagination to come through and think about what it is you want to be, do, create, experience. These are really powerful tools that not only remind your conscious and subconscious of realities above and beyond your current circumstances, but also remind you that the future is yet to be written, that is a blank canvas. And whilst your current circumstances can feel heavy, nothing is forever, and that's good and bad, right? I'm sure there are a lot of things we want to keep hold of forever, and other things we are happy to leave tomorrow. But in this circumstance where you feel like you're suffering and you feel like it's been ages and it's a struggle to see that light at the end of the tunnel, having that imagination of what is possible is a very powerful way to remind yourself that it can change, and it will change, and it can change for the better. And I think the more that we get into the driver's seat of life, even and especially during the hardest of times, then the more likely we are to allow our subconscious to kind of find the way through and navigate towards the future that we want to experience and create.